There are some really big misunderstandings about where we sit with manufacturing in the United States. That on one hand, our industrial production is up 5 times since the 1950s, that our average output is up substantially, about 50% since the 1990s, and that we are still employing about 13 million people in the manufacturing sector, which is really not less than we were employing quite a while ago, but is definitely a big reduction as a percentage. And I make the point that one of the big factors there is that we are able, and it's probably the biggest factor, it's probably the heart of the matter to understand this story economically, that we live in a time where we are just simply able to make more with less. I think there are two things that have to be said that represent additional indictment that are not going to be covered by tariffs, they're not going to be covered by industrial policy, they're not going to be covered really by any possible imposition of public policy whatsoever. And that is, first, the higher education system that is a nasty culprit in this. This utterly preposterous societal obsession with a 4-year bachelor's degree filled with 2 years of utter poppycock, general ed, sociology, indoctrination that is wholly unnecessary and often makes people's thinking and living worse as they go to have their brain and often their soul polluted for a couple of years, when they could be going to vocational school, trade school, specialization that allows them to go get the various higher barrier to entry things covered that would allow employment opportunities in the higher manufacturing end of the spectrum where America has legitimate comparative advantages. There is absolutely no need for these employers to require a 4-year bachelor's degree. There's no need for the system to want people to get a 4-year bachelor's degree in those domains. And there's no reason for the student debt markets to be monopolized around those elements and discriminate against those that don't. A lot of why we don't have more people employed in manufacturing is that we have less people who have the skill set level, education level to go into that domain, but have decided to leave the workforce. The people who have decided to leave the workforce are largely not people who would otherwise be, with their current level of training and education and direction, accountants, scientists. There is blue collar capacity that has been not missed out on because of trade deals or missed out on because of failures in public policy, but has been missed out on because of social, cultural, and moral decisions. The overall level of responsibility that is surrounding this dialogue is not an afterthought. It is a primary consideration in the situation we're in. And any attempt to diagnose solutions that ignores that component, along with the other ones that I've tried to put on the table, is very difficult to take seriously as a holistic and intentionally serious plight for that element, the American manufacturing worker. We need more people in American manufacturing to the extent that we need more people working. The market forces will dictate what opportunities are on the table, but one's own moral responsibility matters here. And I believe that we have to address that along with getting government regulation, government tax policy, government interventions that create cronyism. And yes, by the way, various sweetheart deals with the unions that take away job opportunities and incentivize people moving positions offshore or elsewhere. There is a holistic issue here on the table that requires treatment across all these categories, not merely the benevolent hand of Washington, D.C. intervening to allegedly come up with a solution. Washington, D.C. is the last place I'll look to, and Main Street is the first place, as it often is, same as it ever was.